This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, we're back with everybody tonight. Boy, what a last 2 weeks has been for us. My producer's going to tell me don't talk about my problems, but since this is a talk show, I've got to talk about my problems here. We really had to scramble to get on today. The PC we normally use in here had all kinds of problems. We reformatted, reinstalled Windows 10. We're waiting on a new video card for it. And then the high-end Alienware laptop that we've used the last 2 weeks for the show, today I booted it up, left the room, I came back, and it was black, and it wouldn't turn on. And everything I did, I couldn't do anything to make it turn on. I kicked it, I dropped it, I unplugged it, plugged it in. So Dale's sending somebody out, I think, the next day or two to take a look at that. All right, today is Tuesday, December 20th. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. I'm Tom Medlin, W5KUB, and we'd like to welcome everybody to our show tonight, and especially those out on shortwave that may be tuning in on WBCQ on 5130 kilohertz. We simulcast each of our Tuesday shows on the world-famous shortwave station, WBCQ. Say hello to Lord Robert up there. He's in the chat room. He got our audio adjusted perfectly, he says. And I know everybody in the chat room knows Robert, so say hello to Robert. Maybe he's not in too deep a snow up there, but up there on the Maine and the Canada line, I know it gets kind of deep up there. So, hey, if you're tuned in on shortwave, you can join us. If you've got internet connection, join us at W5KUB.com, W5KUB as in Bravo.com. You can watch the show and you can join us in the chat room. We also will have phone lines open later if you want to call in and say hello. Send us a signal report. If you're listening out there somewhere, send a signal report to Tom at W5KUB.com. And for everybody, even all you ham radio people that are on the chat room there, I'd really appreciate it if you would go up to the menu and click on the Facebook link and join our Facebook broadcast group. We got a lot of things going. It follows the show, and there's a lot of information about the show on there. And it's just a good ham radio place to hang out. And we're almost about to reach 5,000 members in this group. We need just, I don't know, I haven't looked at it lately. I think we need about 75 or 80 more members. So if there's 75 or 80 people out there, click on join us on Facebook. We'd really appreciate that. I think we've got a good show tonight. We've got Joe in here with us, K0NEB. Up in Cole, Nebraska. We'll have him in just a second. He's going to talk about some kits and some other things that he's got going. We're going to bring in Marty Sullaway, KC1, chicken with fries, in just a little while. He's going to talk about some of the things that we're going to try to do on the show to promote youth in ham radio. And he's also going to be talking about the ARRL Kids Day, I believe. And then after that, I'm going to jump into the BITX40 $45 single sideband 40-meter transceiver that we're also interested in, and tell you about what we're going to be doing there. We've got the software finished thanks to, well, when I say finished, we've got the software updated thanks to Ron over in the Netherlands, PA3 FAT, and we've added S-meter, we're adding CW, we've added the Arduino DDS VFO, so we'll talk about that in the third segment tonight. So let me go out to Joe. Joe, how you doing tonight?
Well, Tom, doing great. It's actually a lot warmer than it was on Sunday. In fact, right now, if you factor in the wind chill, today was 62 degrees warmer than it was on Sunday. So a great improvement, and but normal winter here in Nebraska, except normal winter here is anything but normal. They're saying we'll be in the 50s, rain, and maybe some thunder on Christmas Day. So I'll have to teach you how to spell my name, too.
Did I get it wrong? Oh, man, that's not right. I know that's wrong. Let me take that off. Joe, I've been rebuilding everything, all the shots, all the lower thirds, everything. I've been rebuilding it, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna take it off. What did I have here? Bert? Yeah. Eisenberg. There's Joe Eisenberg.
All right. Well, that's all right. The folks at DARA, the Dayton Amateur Radio Association, changed my call to N0NEB, and the Western Nebraska Radio Club of Gering, Nebraska probably doesn't appreciate that either. But I'm K0NEB. And Tom, let's make it easy on you first. We're going to go to some pictures, and then I've got some stuff to hold up and show a few things off. And that should do me for my 25 minutes, all right?
Okay, let's see what you got.
Let me see if this works. We're going to share the screen out. And how's that? Let's see if that comes up.
Looks good.
Okay, now you're looking at a picture. This looks like a big club meeting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is the crowd that appears at a monthly meeting of the Dayton Amateur Radio Association. I got to go there last February and give a kit building presentation and visit the club station and so forth. It was a great time. How many people do you think attend their darn club meetings there?
I don't know, 300?
This is about 180, I think, was at this one. And meetings I've been to vary anywhere from about 160 to 220. So it's a big club. And part of the big attendance is probably because they give away more prizes at a monthly club meeting than we do at our ham fests here. So it's pretty wild. They give away some nice radios and other stuff, and always a good time. This is kind of another view. This is the view if you're sitting in the back of the room looking up forward to where I'll be. So it's a pretty big place. Now, you're wondering, why am I showing this? And it's because on January 6th, and that's coming up in a little over 2 weeks, I will be appearing at the Dayton Amateur Radio Association, but this time not to talk about kit building, although I may slip in a couple of pictures of some neat new kits that are coming out. What we're going to be talking about is photos of hamventions all the way back from the 70s to today, and kind of my impression of how things went and funny things that have happened over the years and so forth, and what those of us out here are looking forward to from them. And so it's going to be an interesting thing, but we're going to do a lot of photographic memories from especially the 80s and 90s and all the way up to the present. We're going to show some things and show how some things have changed and evolved over the years. And kind of a neat nostalgia night, Tom. So, of course, when I go, I'll do a little artistic photography. And this was taken in Chicago on my way there last year. So, as you know, no matter where I go, it's usually a chance to get a little bit of artistic photography. And everybody asks me, how come the walkway there on a Sunday evening was so empty? And last year that was because that was during the beginning of the Super Bowl. So not many people traveling, but the airlines had the game on free on the stream. So I could watch it through the TVs in the airplane. So let's talk about some kits. But once again, the meeting I think is at 7:30 on Friday night, January 6th. In Dayton, and those of you familiar with the area obviously know where to go. I can't remember the name of the place. I think it's the Kettering Rec Center in Kettering. And so those of you in the Dayton area who want to say hi and see my photos from all these years, please come out to the meeting on Friday the 6th. Let's talk about some kits now, of course. That's me, the kit builder. This one is a very inexpensive audio amplifier kit. And I think this one's around $7 or $8 or something for this kit. It's an LM384 based kit. Has the audio in and the audio out. volume control, runs on 9 to 12 volts. Pretty useful thing to have around when you're working on receiver projects. This is a kit that even a beginning kit builder is not going to spend an hour putting together. Here's another kit, and by the way, that kit comes from vakits.com. vakits.com. It's also called Nightfire Electronics. Now, these are the parts that make up another kit that they make that's also very, very low cost. Now, one of the parts that does not come with this kit is the AC transformer, and you can use a 12 volt through 24 volt AC power transformer to feed it AC, and then it has a full wave bridge and so forth, and an LM317 regulator and a filter. So you have a regulated output anywhere from 24 volts down to 3 volts. So this is something very useful. This probably looks a little better, so you can get a little better detail on what these things look like. Once again, it's your $7 variety kit. A first-time builder will have this done in half an hour and ready to hook up to your power transformer and your output. So now you've got about a 1 amp supply that you can use for any kind of project. And like I said, 24 volts through 3 volts. Now, once again, the transformer does cost extra. You can use a 12 volt transformer, but of course that's the most you're going to get out of it DC. If you need more than 12 volts, obviously you use a bigger transformer up to 24 volts. It has an LED that shows you when it's on, and there's a pot to adjust the voltage. But once you set that pot, it's going to stay rock solid on that voltage. Let's look at another one.
Joe?
Yeah.
You know what would be neat? Put that in a box. Buy one of these little digital meters. You can buy a digital readout meter for about $1 now. Put that on a box and take that pot out and put a pot on the front of the box, and you'll have a variable power supply there.
Exactly. And see, that's the way a kit builder thinks, because kits are made to be modified and adapted for better use. And so you don't have to use their little pot. You could use if you find out what the value of the pot is, you can use something else and put it on the front panel of a box and have a dial variable supply with one of those little digital voltmeters in it.
Yeah, and your next step might be to put a little put a pass transistor on the back of the chassis or something where you can have this regulated and maybe get 5 or 6 or 8 amps. Of course, you need a transformer that can handle that, and the diodes, of course.
Yeah, the regulator I don't think will handle more than an amp or so, being an LM317. This kit here is a new version of an old kit that came out about 7 or 8 years ago. This is called the NS40 Plus. The original NS40 was the first of its kind. What it is it's a very simple 5-watt CW transmitter, and it is fixed frequency, although we'll get into how to make it variable in a minute. But what's interesting about this kit is, look at the parts count on the table. You see, I think there's 7 capacitors, 3 resistors, there's a choke and a transistor, and then the power transistor and a crystal. And then there's some nuts, bolts, screws, and jacks, and even the power plug for this. How long do you think it takes a beginning kit builder to put this one together?
I don't know. Let me guess. Let me guess. 32 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, you're close. It's definitely under a half an hour for a first-time kit builder to have this all together and working. Notice that there are 4 coils on the circuit board. These take the place of open inductors or toroids. These are spiral wound, and this kit is designed by NM0S, David Kripe, who is a design engineer for Rockwell Collins in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And he designs a lot of the 4-state QRP kits, and like I said, this is used to be a 4-state kit and probably will be again, but this is a newer version. And the reason for the newer version is the original one, the outputs and inputs were all just terminations on the board, and you had to make pigtails. This now has the plugs and jacks built on, and he's tweaked the values on the coils to be a little more precise.
What's the frequency?
This is 40 meters.
Whoa.
And it comes with a 70-30 crystal, but a lot of guys are taking those Arduino Nano DDS things and plugging the output of that into the crystal socket, and away you go. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this. Now, the output transistor is class E, which is okay on CW. And it puts out between 4.5 and 5 watts. So we call 5 watts a QRP full gallon. And it's a great kit to get somebody on the air real quick. This is what it looks like when it's all done and hooked up. You can see I have my key there, and you can see this meter. Now, I think I showed this meter on an earlier show. The Sanford watt meter is a kit from Kanga, UK, and I probably didn't give a link for that, but Kanga, UK puts this kit out, and it has a BNC jack on the input, and it's a 20-watt dummy load inside it, and it is a 20-watt and 5-watt scale watt meter analog, and then it has an output jack that you can plug into a scope or frequency counter. Since it's 36 dB down, you can hook it right into the input of a frequency counter and count the frequency of your transmitter. Or you can put the output on a scope and look at it and see how clean your waveform is and so forth. Once again, an extremely simple kit, a lot of fun, and I've worked several people on the air with them. And when we're done with the pictures, I'm going to show you the back of the kit, because that's what makes this kit even more fun. Let's go into some soldering tools here. This is a portable soldering iron kit. Now, it has 3 tips. It has a spare heater. It has a controller that you can put in your hand and dial the heat up and down and read it in Fahrenheit or Celsius. It is regulated to within 2 degrees Celsius, which is pretty darn precise for a soldering iron. Let me see if I can give you a better close-up there. This is the control piece. Now, this thing sells for about $79, and you can get it through Amazon, or you can get it direct from their webpage, xtronicusa.com. I was turned on to these people by somebody in Ohio at Dayton, and he reminded me again a few weeks ago, and I stopped here in Lincoln because the guy that distributes these things and imports them and has them custom made is right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so there's this big warehouse here full of these things, and this guy sells I think he said upwards of 30 to 40,000 soldering stations per year of all different kinds. Now, I'm only going to show you 2 of his products because I'm going to take some pictures soon of the other 2 that are even more mind-boggling. And but this is something nice. If I'm doing a kit build at a Hamfest or something, I'm going to be using something like this because it's a lot lighter than my heavy Weller station and quite precise. This looks like that Weller. Haven't you seen those orange Wellers everywhere?
Yeah.
They're very common, but the Weller, when you vary the temperature on it, it's just kind of a guess, because when you start drawing heat away from the tip of the iron, that temperature will go down. It is just kind of varying the voltage going to the tip. This one here is digital temperature controlled. Like the other one, it has thermal feedback from the tip, and it keeps the temperature within 2 degrees Celsius. It has both a sponge and a brass thing there. On the left side, it has a thing that actually holds your roll of solder on the thing, which serves 2 purposes. One, it keeps your solder roll from going away, and number 2, it keeps that soldering station firmly planted when you've got a pound roll of solder on it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this one, a lot of people were wondering, well, that's got to be pretty expensive. And actually, these are, I think, like $48 or $49, and a lot of times including free shipping. You can order this through Amazon, as well as from Xtronics webpage. Once again, these are designed here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they are imported to Lincoln and shipped from here. Amazon does distribute them also for them, as well as they have an eBay store. And they don't really have a local outlet. So for me to get them, I have to go beg to borrow one of these things. But they gave me 4 of them to try out. And so this one's going to be put to use building my next kit. And then I'm going to get out the big guns that they gave me. I'll give you a hint. One of them has hot tweezers, and that's for working with surface mount parts. And the other one has a surface mount board heater and a hot air gun, as well as a soldering iron, and all 3 are precision temperature controlled. So
they're asking the name of the company again.
Xtronic, X-TRONIC, and it's xtronic.com. But if you go to Amazon.com and type in the word Xtronic, you will find even more variety than they have on their own webpage. So it's kind of neat to see these at a reasonably low cost, especially this one, where you're talking $49, probably with free shipping and a lot of offers that they have, and very, very precise temperature control, something that you won't find in the $45 Weller iron. Like I said, I just discovered these a few weeks ago, and having fun trying them out and writing about it and taking pictures. And I took this one to work, and we worked on a few things at work with it, and everybody was well impressed. There's a kind of a close-up of what the iron itself looks like on this particular tool. But the irons, the hand pieces on all the different ones that they have look pretty much the same as this. And that brings up the next question, and that is the tips. And yes, the tips are interchangeable in most of their tools. The bigger soldering stations that have multiple things on it, like the hot air rework for surface mount and so forth, it comes with, I think, 9 or 10 different sizes and shapes of soldering tips, and it's equivalent to a series that's used on Heiko irons. So the tips are very, very commonly available, but they also sell spare tip kits. And like I said, a lot of these soldering stations come with spare heaters and spare tips. It's pretty amazing. Most soldering irons don't come with anything but a single tip.
Yeah, there's a question about temperature. What would be a good temperature for your kits? Like a little kit you showed me with 8 or 9 parts.
Well, I usually set it around 640 to 650 Fahrenheit is what I set it at. And kind of coincidentally, on these tools, the temperature knob is pointed almost straight up. So obviously, that's pretty much the temperature you want to be. Anything higher, you run the risk of overheating components and so forth. Now, obviously, there are reasons to turn a soldering iron up, like if you're doing a solder wick or things like that, or coax connectors and so forth, where you need a higher temperature. But for circuit boards like this, I set it around 645 to 650. So that's that, and let's see if we can, I don't know, how do I get my camera back?
You have to hit the plus at the bottom. There you go, you're back.
And you got my name spelled right. That's great.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right.
Okay. Now let's talk about a couple of things real quick. First off, we'll hold that board back up, the NS40. It's not that big, but what's neat about it is we're going to show you the back. The back is a QSL card. And you say, a QSL card? Well, what you do on the back is when you make your first contact, you fill this out like it was a blank QSL card. Obviously, the big square gets your call sign, and then there's a thing confirming QSO with and so forth. And you fill all that information out, and then you take your cell phone or camera or something and take a picture of this, and then you print it out and send it to the guy, the picture that has all the QSL information on it, to your first contact. And so obviously if you use a Sharpie or something, that record is permanently on the base of your kit. So you have a proof on the bottom of your kit of who you worked first. And the person you worked first gets a picture of it in the mail, and you'll get his QSL card back, we hope. So it's kind of a fun thing that they added to this kit. I'm going to say a brief thing about something that really helps out when you're building kits, a frequency counter. Now, this particular one, MFJ discontinued last year. We'll see if we can get it to focus a little better. This was the MFJ 888, and it goes up to 2.3 gigahertz, and it has a signal strength meter, very useful. It's now the 886, and it's a little smaller, a lot lighter, and it's a plastic case, and I think lithium-ion batteries now instead of heavy NiCads. But if you don't have that kind of budget, this one here that looks like a guitar, this is a Jetstream. I see it under several different names. This particular frequency counter mostly is better for VHF and UHF, and it'll tell you the PL tone or the digital code squelch number that your radio's putting out. So you can key up your radio and see if you got the right PL. Let's see here. I'm sure I'm going to forget something. This is a project that I'm working on, and a lot of people will look at this and say, what the heck is he doing? This is a solenoid. Everybody should know what a solenoid is. It's just a big coil.
Yep.
It's an electromagnet. What this is for, I just got this in the mail. I am helping a dentist who's a customer of mine at work restore a Williams pinball machine to put in his waiting room for the kids that are coming to visit the dentist. And right now, the pinball machine's at his house, which is in a rural area of Iowa. And so I go across the river, and I've been working on this. And then I found out what was wrong, why the flipper wasn't working. And it was because the solenoid was burned out. So I replaced the fuse in there and found a solenoid and mail ordered it. And so I'll be replacing this, and this will get the flippers working in the pinball machine.
Now are you going to get free tooth drilling or anything because of that?
Well, you know, I think what he'll do is he'll just give me more laughing gas next time.
Oh, okay.
But that's the pinball project. I do have a pinball machine in the basement here. Sometime I'll give a camera tour inside it or something. I'll fish a camera into it, and you can see how all the relays and rotors and scorekeeping things work. Pinball machines are mechanical nightmares, but they're lots of fun to work on. Lots of relays, switches, lights, just all sorts of neat little solenoids and everything else that go click and clunk, and just a lot of fun to play with. I've been tinkering with pinball machines since the 70s, and so every once in a while I'll get my head in one of these things.
All right, question in the chat room. Why were there 3 taps on that solenoid?
That's an interesting question.
Maybe one's not hooked up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think on this one it's not. There's options for different strengths of action on the flipper, and so all I'm going to do is wire this the way that the old one was.
Yeah. And
you'll see that there's a diode on there too.
Right.
And I didn't know that the replacement one would come with the diode. Most pinball machines, if they have diodes, have 1N4001s, and you know those aren't very expensive. And this one, the old solenoid was missing that, and I'm guessing that probably caused some problems and probably why the solenoid burned out. Finally, I do have one more item to show, and Marty's going to like this because Marty has one of these as well. This is an interesting year, and that is that our holiday of Hanukkah starts on Christmas Eve on December 24th. So we have to hold up our menorah kit. And there we go. And I don't know if you can see it lit or not.
Is that all it does?
Yeah, they actually flicker.
I was going to say, do they flicker? We're not seeing it flicker.
Yeah, you probably won't. I'm not sure I can resolve that.
Okay.
But I can turn it on and off, and then you can see it goes through a lighting sequence. And so for each night, you turn it off, turn it back on. Now it goes 1, 2, 3. And you can see it light up the candles. And so it's a cute little electronic menorah kit. And this is available from evilmadscientist.com. And also not a very difficult kit to put together. We'll give you a kind of a close-up. I turned it off so the lights won't get at it. But that's it. So my ham shack couldn't be without its electronic menorah for Hanukkah. And Hanukkah this year starts on December 24th and ends on January 1st. So on Christmas Eve, we light one, and all the candles get lit on New Year's Eve. How's that, Tom?
Well, that's cool, and it'll be here soon.
That's right. It sure will.
Wow. I can't believe it's Christmas and is almost here. And, well, today's December 20th. Man, the year's almost over with. Yep,
it sure is. And I'll probably take a few pictures at the new site in Dayton and Xenia. I'm going to try to visit it. If I don't get a guided tour, I'll probably make one myself if I can get in and drive around and take a look. But hopefully I'll be able to arrange to go with somebody and learn more about their plans for the new facility. And that will be a subject of another talk on here. How's that?
All right. Well, I know Brian Markland. Let's see. Let me get your name off here and go back, see if I can do a split screen. I know Brian Markland is again acting as inside chairman again this year to help do all the assignments of the spaces, and I've been in contact with him. I'm sure they're going to be trying to find a place for us, but when you get up there, knowing about our webcast and what we do, see if you can spot out what you think might be the best place to have a camera set up where it'll show the world what Hamvention looks like, you know.
Well, we'll have to find out what exhibitors are where and so forth, but we'll see if we can get some information.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different, but hey, we'll all get used to it. Well, Joe, thank you very much for coming on and showing us those things tonight. Enjoyed it.
You bet, Tom, and ready for the next part of the show.
All right, very good. I'll talk to you later, and we're going to get Marty on here in just a minute. Send me through, Joe. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that was a good segment there to have Joe on. Joe has some neat little kits that come up all the time, so when he gets a few, we like to have him on here and see what he's got. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Marty on here. We'll run with Marty. All I have to do is find Marty. Let me think here. There he is.
Good evening.
Hey, Marty. How you doing?
Doing well. Good to be on tonight.
Good. Let's see. How you looking here? Oh, you're looking good. Now, that almost looks like a helmet you've got on there.
Headphones plus hat plus messy hair,
Is that that's a hat, right? I mean, I guess up in Massachusetts, you need something to keep your head warm, right?
You know how cold it was when I woke up today?
How cold?
Like 13 degrees. It's cold out here.
Oh man, that's pretty bad.
Last week it was negative something. Yeah,
I couldn't
warm.
Couldn't stand that. Now you have to get out and go to school when it gets that cold.
Oh yeah, and take an 1.5-hour train ride every day. Get to walk outside a lot.
Oh man, how far's your walk?
Well, I walk to like a half a mile to the train, and then I take one train in, and then I walk probably another 1/4 mile to another train. then I get off the other train and I walk another half a mile.
So you walk about 1.5 miles and ride 2 trains. Where are you going to school? Over in Russia or somewhere?
Well, yes. I actually walk and then get on a helicopter and then get to Russia.
Yeah.
I'm not sure a helicopter can cross the Atlantic, but Actually, my school, if you think about like a triangle, I live down here, and my school is down here, and I have to I have to follow the route of the triangle to get to school via train. So I have to go in the city and then out of the city.
So an hour and a half to school and an hour and a half home.
Yep.
When do you sleep?
Sleep when you're dead.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Well, hey, I told people earlier that, we're trying to set up some type of youth segment on here, and you're the right person to lead it. And so what do you got going tonight? You want to talk about youth?
Yeah, so we have a lot of things going tonight. But before we get into the youth stuff, I just want to mention Joe. That was terrific. Joe did a really good job tonight talking about kits, as he always does. And that menorah kit is really good. If you're looking for a gift for a Jewish friend and you want a really simple kit to start, that'll take you under an hour, maybe 20 minutes to build, and it's really fun. So I'd check that out. But tonight I thought we'd talk a little bit about youth and contests and getting on the air. There's a lot of youth who are active in our hobby who may not feel comfortable contesting or making lots of quick contacts on HF. So there's a few events coming up in quite soon in the future that I thought I'd just touch on tonight and then talk about some contesting in general. So let's see if I can roll the slides here. Tom, let me know if they come through.
And by the way, the walk to school is uphill both ways, right?
Oh, yes, and 4 foot of snow as it goes.
Yeah.
Play slideshow. There we go. So a few youth-friendly contest activities in the weeks ahead. This is just a little bit of update about what's coming. So I wanted to start kind of with a classic. This isn't really in the week ahead. It was actually part of it was last weekend and part of it's coming up, but I thought I'd just put it out there. Some people wouldn't call this a contest. Some people would. I'm not really sure what the ARRL exactly calls it. There's awards, so I'd call it a contest, but some people, I don't know. Depends who you ask. Well, the first thing is the ARRL Rookie Roundup, which is basically a chance for people who have been licensed 3 years or less are referred to as rookies. And if you're been licensed more than 3 years, you're still involved. You can still be involved, but you're not a rookie anymore. And basically, it's a chance for rookies to get on the air. They exchange some basic information. You can find more information on the ARRL website. And it's a short contest. It starts at 1800 UTC and basically goes through the end of that day. So it's 6 hours, if I'm doing my math right. And it's a real fun thing. If you're not really experienced in contesting, or maybe really doesn't have a huge if you don't have a huge station, it's one of those things where it's a great time to get on the air and make some QSOs. They do it on both RIDI, phone, and CW. Phone was last weekend, actually. But there are events in April on phone and August on RIDI. Normal non-work bands minus 160 where you'll find activity for the contest 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. So that's a lot of fun, and I'd encourage you to check that out, even if you're not maybe so experienced in doing radio contesting. Kids especially, dial on. You might hear some people CQing. Try CQing yourself, maybe. That's often a lot of fun. Oops, wrong button. Play. There we go. It's often a lot of fun. So get on and enjoy that. I think a lot of people, the more we can kind of spread these activities and the more people get on the air, the more fun it is for everybody. So that's kind of a contest. Thinking about more about kids, coming up January 7th, and Sunday, and coming up January 7th is ARRL Kids Day, and Kids Day is less of a contest. It's more of a time. Think about it as a special event, kind of QSO. It's not special event, but more of a time for kids to get on the air and talk to other kids, talk to adults who want to give some information about ham radio. Maybe you aren't licensed. The Kids Day doesn't target licensed hams as much. And it's really fun. There's a lot of people who host. Let's switch back to my video here, Tom. Let's see if I can press the right buttons. What button do I have to hit?
Cut the red wire.
There we go. And a lot of people open their stations up to kids who maybe aren't licensed, and Kids Day is a really good opportunity to kind of spread the word about ham radio. I know my KH6LC down in Hawaii gets on with a bunch of kids every single time. So Kids Day is something to check out. Just spread the word and offer some advice. And I'd encourage anybody who is experienced in ham radio to get on the air during Kids Day. Try and find some kids, talk to them, get them excited about ham radio, because that's a lot of fun. Kind of getting a little bit back more to the contesting vein of things. Coming up this January, I don't have the exact dates here, is the NAQP, the North American QSO Party. And if you're getting into contesting, or a little bit serious, or you're starting to learn about contesting, not really sure what to do, where to start, the NAQP is a 12-hour contest that typically takes place on a Saturday. In the USA, it's typically either like 2 in the afternoon to 4, or it starts at 4 in the afternoon and goes to 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. depending on where you are in the world, in the USA. If you're a single op, typically you can only operate 10 of the 12 hours. And it's a really fun contest for people who want to be somewhat competitive in a contest without, say, having to sit in the chair for 48 hours like you do in some of the big ones, like, say, CQ Worldwide. NAQP, short contest, it's a USA contest. All the contests I've mentioned tonight are mainly USA, not a lot of DX. So you can have a lot of fun on 40 and 80, running guys, simple exchange, it's your name and your state. There's also there's a lot of events like that, which are fun. So I'd encourage you to check out NAQP, North American QSO Party. That's a lot of fun. I get on every year typically, and maybe the people who win will maybe make 1,000 contacts, but you can sure as heck get on and make maybe 150, 20, 10. Just hands out some cues. That's a really easy contest to have a lot of fun in. So I'd encourage you this coming January. I believe it's January 8th, I'm not sure exactly, to check out NAQP. It's a lot of fun, a really, really fun contest to play, and I hope to see more kids in it too. Kind of a hot subject these days is kids and contesting. Where do they fit in? There's actually a lot of kids in the hobby right now, but a lot of people are scared to get into contesting. So there's a lot of people kind of focused on making sure kids are involved with contesting, something that is very dear and dear to my heart. I take a lot of pride in contesting. I do a lot of it. And I'd encourage anybody, even you don't have to be a kid, just get involved, tune the bands, work that DX. Contest times to catch up. So, we're kind of in the middle of contesting season now. Maybe if you were intimidated in October in the CQ Worldwide, which seemed like it wiped out the whole band, the whole 20-meter band for a while. This coming spring, when we have the big ARRL DX contest and the CQ WPX contest, 2 other very big contests. Don't get scared. Don't get in the corner like I'm doing. But get on the air and work, guys, and maybe even try and run. Call CQ. You'd be surprised how well you can do calling CQ, even with 100 watts and a dipole. I often find I can get better rate, with a slow run, maybe only working 30, 40, 50 stations an hour when I'm low power with wires than I can tuning around, searching and pouncing, calling guys. So I'd encourage you, don't be scared, embrace it.
Hey, didn't I see just recently you were in some contest, some youth contest, and you racked up like 1 million points?
I did the CQ Worldwide phone contest the last week of October. And that was a lot of fun. I ended up making a top 10 finish, USA, and that was a lot of fun. Didn't actually the
It's a prize.
Just a plaque.
No, I'm talking.
And I ended up
talking
finishing.
I'm talking about the cookies.
Oh, the cookie yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
And I ended up finishing 8th place USA, and I believe I probably won rookie instead of W1 record. So that was a lot of fun. Put like 40 hours in the chair. SO2R, single operator 2 radio, 1 radio in each ear, which is a lot of fun. And that's kind of a more advanced contesting technique that you can think about maybe in the future. I had the privilege of using a great station and using some terrific Icon 7300s, which made a super big difference when band conditions are lousy, using those great SDRs. The Icon 7300s really do a terrific job pulling weak stations out of the mud. That was a lot of fun. And there was a little competition, I think was what Tom was getting at in this, in which a good friend of mine, a good ham family friend of mine, the Lee family, who was just on the show, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
The Lee family challenged me to competition. Whoever made more contacts had to make the person who made the least amount of contacts had to make the other people cookies, and I was lucky enough to get some really good cookies from the Lee family, and that was really fun. So I finished. Yep.
I saw the video of them making cookies. I think they ate more than they shipped up there.
Yeah, they contaminated the batter, and then they had to do quality control. Tom, how dare they send me something that wasn't perfect?
Right.
I ended up finishing with around 1,500 Qs, good for 1.8 million points, well below my expectations going into the contest. But luckily, when I had bad propagation and I did poorly, everybody else did poorly. So it kind of goes together. That was a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you, if I ever enter a contest, I need to get you on here as my partner.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll sit behind you, and you can run guys better than I can all weekend. It'd be a lot of fun.
I'll just watch and learn.
Yeah, I'll watch and learn. All
right. So, hey, what else is going on now?
In the contesting realm?
Well, just whatever. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I hopefully I didn't change the subject on you. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're all good. Right now we're kind of in a hiatus over the Christmas New Year's time, but coming up in February is the ARRL DX contest. That's kind of the next big one. But NAQP in January is always well attended. And another thing, if you to kind of practice your contesting skills in a short contest, there's something called there's something every Tuesday night. It actually happens during the show now. So you gotta watch. But if for some reason there's ever a week when Tom's not doing a show,
well, they can multitask.
Or you can multitask. When the rate gets low. There's a contest called the Phone Fray, and it's a 30-minute contest from 9:30 p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock, or 0230 Zulu to 0300 Zulu Wednesday. It's a 30-minute SSB contest. Bring your friend, try it out, and it basically mirrors the NAQP exchange. So your name, and you exchange your name and your state, I believe. And that's a lot of fun. You can find them kind of, they move down the bands as the contest goes. So there's typically like 25 guys in there, and they start on 20, and then they go to 40 maybe 10 minutes later, and then 80, and then at the very end 160. So that's kind of a friendly contest to kind of warm up, and that's a lot of fun. So I'd encourage you to Fray, Tuesday and Friday. You can Google all of these for more information. I'm not giving specific links, but for sure. I'm just reading chat here. QSO parties are also a hoot. They are typically well attended enough to have a lot of fun. NEQP New England QSO party is a big deal up here. Virginia QSO party, I see somebody mention in chat. That's a lot of fun. Some Bill WZ1L asked, I'm not doing Winter Field Day. I'm not sure. Winter Field Day is a fun contest. It's hard to be competitive without kind of going out into the field. It's just, I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
And it's cold out there too. But hey, Bill lives near you.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, do you have any other people? I'll call them people your age that you associate with in school or anything that's interested in ham radio?
Oh yeah, I have a few friends in school who we've actually we're trying to get them licensed now. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There's a lot of kids in this hobby.
Cool. I used to be a kid once. I got my license
really?
when I was a kid. Yeah.
Well, you're what, 23 now? So
Yeah.
that means,
Yeah. I got
5 years
I got
ago,
my
like-
license 52 years ago. So
25. You flip the numbers around.
yeah.
Well, thanks so much. It's if anybody else has any questions, I'd love to see them in chat. But contesting is fun. I'd encourage anybody who's afraid to try it out or doesn't know what to do, give it a try. You get better with experience. There's a lot of strategies that you'll learn. But you're not going to learn just listening to me yap. So shut me off. Well, listen to Tom, but shut me off and go play in a contest sometime, because you're not going to get better just listening to me. Get on the radio and have some fun.
I think we're learning a lot from you, really. There are a lot of people in here learning a lot from you. Marty, thank you very much for all the great info you shared tonight with us. And looking forward to, over the next few weeks, more interesting segments about youth.
Sure.
Not just
Thanks so much.
because they're young, but because they're doing great things, right?
For sure.
All right. I'll see you later. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Great to be on.
All right. That was Marty Sullaway. KC1 chicken with fries. Man, I tell you, maybe he's not listening right now. That kid is sharp. I don't know if everybody knows or not, but when I took a week off from the webcast a couple months ago, and Marty actually duplicated the studio up at his house in his shack, and he ran the show from his shack one Tuesday night up here and brought remote guests in. So the guy can do anything. I'm going to have to think up something better than chicken with fries, but he's very skilled in everything he does. All right, so guys, be back with you in just a minute, and I'm going to talk about the BITX40 and what we're doing with it. Got a lot of people interested. I'll be right back. 'Tis the season. The holidays are here. Surprise your favorite ham this season with the gift that is on their Santa list. The holidays are just around the corner, and ICOM has an array of radios to fill your stockings or place under the tree. Just arrived for the holidays, the IDA51A Plus 2 provides new models for extended D-Star coverage. Available in 5 colors, the IDA51A Plus 2 is a perfect stocking stuffer. It has terminal and access mode, send and receive text messages and pictures, DV fast data mode, and an easy FM repeater setting. Ideal for the contester on the go. Try out the IC7300. It's a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design. The real fun starts here. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. Push performance to the pinnacle with the IC7600. Following in the footsteps of ICOM's flagship radio, the IC7600 has an intuitive operation and the latest DSP technologies. It has a digital IF filter, dual DSP, a large 5.8-inch ultra-wide TFT display, and high-resolution real-time spectrum scope. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. All right, we're back. We're about, 2/3 of the way through the show. I think the next segment is not very long, just a few minutes. I want to take this time to make a couple announcements again to our shortwave listeners. If you've tuned in on 5130 kilohertz at WBCQ, you can join us on the web at W5KUB.com, W5 Kilo Uniform Bravo.com. And join us and watch the video and join us in the chat room. We'll also have a phone line open in a little while if you'd like to call in. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. I'd like to get a signal report from you. Let us know how you're hearing WBCQ. It's a very famous international shortwave station that goes way back. And we actually had Alan Wiener on here, I think back in December, talking about him actually going through the pirate stage. And, Alan was a very famous radio pirate, put the ship off New York harbor out there, and was busted by the FCC and the Coast Guard and FBI and all that. Anyway, Alan owns the station. It's a licensed station now, and he's a cool guy to have on, and we might just try to have Alan back on here again soon, talking about some of the old radio days. Join us on Facebook. We need about 80 more people to reach 5,000. There's a link at the top of the page. Click on Facebook, join our Facebook group, use it for a ham radio group, post pictures of your shacks. If you guys have put some pictures of your shacks in there, I'll try to put them on the show one night. So send me a picture in the Facebook group. Give us a description and your name and call, and we'll try to get you on there. Also, always looking for other people to be on the show. If you've got anyone that's interested in being on a show, give us a call or get in contact with us. We'd love to have you on here with us. The BITX40, there's been a tremendous amount of interest in the little BITX40 transceiver. I've got a lot of emails, and a lot of people have seen our YouTube video and have contacted me, and I'm steering all them to this webcast and also to the Facebook group, because that's where they're going to get all the information. They're going to get the diagrams, they're going to get the modifications, they're going to learn from it, see what works, see what doesn't work. So this is a good place to hang out. Now the BITX40, if you're just tuning in, this is your first time to tune in. It's a 40-meter single sideband transceiver. It's just a circuit board. It's already built. It's not a kit, but you do have to put some external components on it, such as the volume control, the antenna connector, and so forth. Now, you can buy that kit. No, it's not a kit. You can buy that transceiver for about, $45 total. Now, that $45 includes shipping from India, so it's a great deal. The VFO, when it does drift a little bit, and that was something that we wanted to get around. So we developed a Arduino VFO to run it, and it is rock solid. We're also working on putting CW on it. We're also we just put an S meter and so forth on it. So I want to show you a video here real quick this week of what's happening with my BITX40. So here we go. This is the, if you've been following us, this is a BITX40 board. Very well built QRP single sideband transceiver on 40 meters. This is the Arduino VFO that we built. And the little board on top is the Fruit SI5351 VFO board. And we just bring the output out through this cable. And on the BITX board, you just disconnect or you remove this this coil, this inductor. For right now, I've just got one wire disconnected, so it's not in the circuit. And you plug the VFO in right here to the plug. There's a plug on the board already provided. So let me show you how the S meter is working. That's the latest thing that Ron PA3 FAT has coded.
Out there running, and we're still here. They're still here. So come on back and visit us. Good luck with your project. W5IFN. Thank you again, sir. Maybe we'll,
okay, so you can see the S meter is following the signals. If I tune with the rotary, if I tune a little,
Whiskey Mike 5 Lima. All the best to you. As we say around here, come on back. W5IFN, Norman, Oklahoma.
All right, so that's what we've got going so far. The The S meter has been added to the LCD readout here, but it didn't have enough voltage to really drive it, so we built a little circuit here. This little circuit is the S meter amplifier, and basically you just come off the volume control. This is the BITX40. You come off the volume control. You go into the little S meter amplifier here. That's a pot to set the levels. And you come out of it, and we go into pin A0 on the Arduino.
I'm in Oklahoma. Yeah, your antenna's doing a marvelous job, Marvin.
So that's pretty much what we've been able to get going right now, and we'll keep adding to it. Okay, so that shows the progress that we've made this week by putting the S meter on there and getting the code to work. Again, Ron over in the Netherlands, PA3 FAT, has been the one doing all the coding. I'm not very good at it, and I can't even spell code. So Ron's been doing all the code. Ron's waiting on his BITX40 to arrive so he can connect it, but with Ron's coding and me wiring this up on this end and testing, we know what works and what doesn't work. And when Ron gets his board in, he'll be able to plug it in, and basically he'll be right where we are today with ours. Now, the thing about that is you got to put it in your own box. So that's the interesting thing. You've got to try to figure out what you're going to do and how are you going to mount that. And I've got a box picked out with a little front panel, and the problem I'm facing right now is you noticed in that video all those wires are just out in the open, and every time I pick it up I break a wire off and solder it back on. And since it's a kind of a prototype, it's starting to get a little messy there where the wires are soldered back on each time. So it's better if you can go ahead and mount it in a box or something, but leave room in there. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I'm going to build a little QRP antenna tuner in the same box, and I've already got the parts for that. You can buy a complete QRP antenna tuner kit on eBay for about $9, and that's going to fit in there just perfectly. I'll show you what we had to do. Here's a diagram that shows adding the S meter amplifier, and what we found after we wrote the code, there was not enough amplitude to drive the S meter. So we had to put an amplifier in a circuit. So here's a diagram I threw together, and I put the components there, listed them. Now these aren't critical. I put a note up here. Values are not critical, plus or minus 20%. If you got an NPN transistor in a junk box, it'll probably work. If you got 2 diodes, they'll probably work. You know, the R1, the pot R1 is not critical. I would think you could use anywhere from a 10,000 to maybe 30,000 ohm pot. You can probably substitute every single part in there. So if you look at the connection there, you'll see the R1 there hooks to the BITX40 volume control. That's where it picks up its AC signal from the audio there. And if you look at the output there, it's going up to the Arduino to pin A0. It's just a wire plugged in A0. And be sure and run the amplifier there on 5 volts, the same 5 volts as you're running the Arduino. So, you know, here's what I did to put the little amplifier together. I just took a piece of perf board and just stuck the parts through it and wired it up, you know, and I'll just mount that board somewhere inside in the box. Now, the Arduino seems to have a low-pitched noise using the VFO that we've got on it. It's not real noticeable when an antenna's hooked to it or you get a sideband signal coming in. But if you unhook the antenna and try to make the receiver real quiet, you can hear a little buzz in the background. And I think that's a very rich harmonic output coming out of the VFO, the Arduino VFO. And we're going to try to filter that out. It should be simple to filter. I just don't have the right value of parts, but a low-pass filter in the VFO line should filter that out. This is a circuit that other people have used, so it's just a couple inductors and one capacitor, and it's worked for them. So I don't see why it should not work for us. So again, we're getting a lot of and I mentioned to you I think that we're adding CW. This is a single sideband transceiver only, but we're adding CW. We've already Ron has already programmed one of the pins on the Arduino to give us an output of 800 hertz, and we're going to use that. I mean, it could be changed to 700 or 600 or whatever you want, but we think 800 is probably close to what we want to test with. And we're going to use that tone, that CW for our CW tone for our CW, and we'll be able to put this in a CW mode also. The thing about the Arduino VFO, it will cover the entire band from 7.0 to 7.3, whereas if you use the onboard VXO, the variable oscillator that's on the board, it only cover about 200 kilohertz, and it drifts. So it's best if you could replace that onboard VFO with the Arduino. And again, Farhan, the designer of it, he's in our group here some nights, and in our Facebook group here. We're going to have him on a show hopefully in a few weeks to talk about this. But he knew that external VFOs would be attached to it, so he put a connector right on the board that we plug into. You have to unhook that little toroid and just plug your VFO in there, and you're good to go. And he intended this board to be an experimenter's board. In other words, add your own things to it. For instance, I'm going to add a QRP antenna tuner in the same box. We're adding CW to it. We've added a digital readout display. We've added a rock solid VFO. So we're doing all those things on there. And Ron is already looking at a different LCD screen, and is thinking about programming it where it's a touch screen. So you just touch the screen. You don't have to have as many buttons on your front panel of your radio. So that's going to come in handy to just touch the screen and pull up various functions. So that's some of the things that we want to do soon with it. Okay, so Bill's asking, is this all this going to fit in my DirecTV box? Yeah. Kathy, yes. Can you hand me that box right there, please? I'll. Yeah, that. Well, yeah, and I need the other piece too. I'll show you guys what I'm going to put mine in here. Bill was asking about it. Is this everything? So yeah, that's all. That's all. Okay. So. So I took an old DirecTV receiver, took the front off, the plastic front off, and made me a plate. I've got and it's just taped on right now, but I've got me a plate that I'm going to put on here, and trying to put this back together. Oh, I've got it backwards. Okay. We got to go like this. So this is the box that I'm going to try to put mine in. There we go. It's going to look. It'll be a pretty neat little box. You can see it's well ventilated. I just put me a blank panel on the front. I'll be putting holes in here for the volume control and the tuning, the rotary tuning. The LCD will go in here. So this will be the box that I'll build mine in. And it's got room in here to do several other things. Okay, and yeah, that does come from India. I saw in the chat room. It is coming from India, and it's $45, which includes the shipping, and you get it in about 3 weeks. So it's a pretty neat little thing. All right, so that's about all I've got to talk to you about tonight. Let me put the phone number up here. See if anybody wants to call in and say hello or ask a question, and then we'll go to Hangout here in just a moment. Hey, just a couple of things about our webcast. I don't know if many people know it or not, but let's say if something happened 2 or 3 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago that you missed and you want to see it, you can actually grab the little video slider on your video player, and you can move it back, and you can watch 30 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, and then move it back up to present. So you can, it's like a recorder right now. You can actually go back and see what you missed. All of our shows are recorded. They'll be on YouTube, our YouTube channel. And also, if you just come to w5kub.com, there's a link at the top that says Archives. You can click there, and you'll be able to see all the shows. YouTube is always making changes. They made a change we don't really like. Used to every night after the show, I would quickly go into YouTube, and I could trim off the first 15 minutes, where we play music pre-show. Well, YouTube has set as rule now and taken that trim off. If the show is over an hour long, it does not allow me to trim off that music off the front. So my option is to leave it there, or my option is to download the file back to me, edit it in editing software, and then upload it again, which is a little bit of trouble, and I don't particularly want to do that. I did have one complaint. Somebody 6 months ago said that something, he didn't like the music up front, and I should cut it out, but we may not have a choice now, guys. So let's see, the phone line is open, 901-286-1116. If you want to call in, if you're a shortwave listener, give us a call. Again, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. And before we go to Hangout, let me thank Lord Robert up at WBCQ again, and Alan Wiener up at the great radio station in Monticello, Maine, WBCQ. And hey, if you guys would like to put a radio program on, you can put your own radio program on WBCQ. Alan's running a special for you guys, and contact them, send them an email, wbcq@wbcq.com, and for about $25 for an hour, you can put your own show on International Shortwave Station, and no telling where you'll be heard. So put anything you want to on there, a podcast or play music or talk show or whatever you want to do. $25 an hour, you can put your own show on. So contact WBCQ if you're interested in that. All right, nobody's calling in on the phone, so I'm going to see if I can bring up Hangout and see if we can't get Hangout going. I see Kurt says video and audio gone here. Hopefully that is not gone. I don't see anybody else complaining. I think it's working. Kurt probably just lost it up here in New Jersey. Yeah, WBCQ the Planet. There's Lord Robert. Everybody say hello to Lord Robert there, and pat him on the back. Boy, hey, they got 30 inches of snow, and Robert goes out there with a broom handle, and he breaks all the snow off the feed lines and the ice off the feed lines, just so our signal will get out. So the guy does a great job. I hope he wears rubber boots when he goes out there and does that. Let me see if I can bring up the Hangout here real quick. hopefully next week or the next, we'll have all our systems back together and working. We've really had a lot of problems the last 2 weeks. All right, here we go. We got somebody on there. Yep, I just left a call. Let me go back. Join. There we go. All right. Hey, we got Jeff in there and we got Bill in here. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing there, Bill? And Jeff, you're in the dark, man.
I'm celebrating my 66th birthday today with iced tea.
Is that right? I thought that was something else here, but iced tea, that's good. Now, do you drink sweet iced tea or just without the sugar?
Drink the green stuff.
The green tea. Green tea.
The green tea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see me or not. Let's see. Look at here. You see that right there?
You got ice cubes in it.
Can you guys see that right there? Kathy, this is
Yep,
Kathy.
ice cube.
This is Kathy's. I took this away from her. Hey, do you ever watch Duck Dynasty? You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen the show?
Yeah.
Now, Cy on there. Cy drinks tea. He carries around a gallon jug of tea. Kathy is just like it. She will not go anywhere without taking her iced tea with her. And there's Doc in there. Hey, Doc. Welcome, Doc. Man, hadn't seen you in a while.
Hey, Doc.
Good evening. Good evening.
So, hey, okay, I gotta hit Doc up with a medical question. Doc, she drinks too much iced tea. She can't go anywhere unless she takes a gallon with her. Is that a medical hazard?
Not a medical hazard, but you use a lot of water.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people say I don't get any. Some people say I don't get
Unless
I
you have
don't.
kidney stones. If you
Yeah,
have
some
kidney
people
stones,
say
that's
I
not
don't.
good.
I don't get enough water. Let's
If
see.
you have kidney stones, that's the problem.
Well, what the water is?
No, the tea.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
So
Oxalate.
it does what?
Oxalate. Oxalate is in tea, and it's one of the things that can cause kidney stones in some people.
I didn't know that, man. Well, hey, I got an air compressor out there. I'm not a medical person, but I think you could put a hose in your mouth and hit it with about 60 pounds pressure and make those stones leave you. I ain't got Bill there coughing and strangled.
Hey, Doc, from a medical perspective, you want to tell him that he shouldn't be using a compressor.
Yeah, as we say down here in Tennessee, Tom's not right.
Well, I got a lot of medical stuff that just it hadn't come around to its day yet. In the future, I've got a lot of inventions.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of medical stuff that just it hadn't come around to.
All right, now I'm hearing some feedback. Not sure where that's coming from. Well, Jeffrey, how you doing tonight up there in New Jersey? Oh, I see Mike just popped in. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I am here. What's the topic tonight?
Well, the topic, we're talking about kidney stones right now.
Oh, God, no, don't talk about those. I've had those. They are worse than having a baby.
Well,
Talk about pain. You know where the pain is?
Well, I don't know. This is
You
a
gotta walk around with a strainer when you're peeing.
this is a PG rated show now. You gotta be careful there.
Oh.
Now, what, Jeff, you're in the dark, Jeff. I don't even see you. Are you there? Jeff.
No, I don't think he's there right at the moment.
I was going to say, it looks dark in there. I didn't see a person.
Yeah, I clicked on his picture. He's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. The kidney stone, that's worse than having a colonoscopy.
Well, I imagine it is. Yeah.
And when you finally pass one of them little things, you'll say, that was it?
Yeah, it's amazing how something that small can cause such pain.
Oh, all the way down my back. I mean, I'm talking. It's been quite a few years since I've had one. Yeah.
You can walk in the room and see one of those patients, and it looks like a worm in hot ashes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'll tell you, hey, when I was a kid, I got a speck of dirt or something in my eye. Went to the doctor to get it out, you know. Man, it felt like a rock in there. I think you had to find a magnifying scope to find it.
Man.
Well, the show went on tonight. We didn't drop one single packet, and
I saw your stuff posted on Facebook about having your problems. Looks like you got them worked out enough for that.
Well, this PC here is the original that we've been using. It won't do green screen right now. That's the reason I've got this background behind me. It won't do green screen, and I think something changed. There was an update or something changed, and we can't make it. The software people, they don't know what it is. So anyway, I reformatted, reinstalled Windows 10, reinstalled everything, you know, and I'm waiting on a new video card, which we hope will fix the green screen problem. All right, so in the meantime, I've got like a $1,900 Alienware laptop, a high-end laptop built like a battleship. It's a gaming laptop, and that was our backup, and we were using that for our show last week and going to use it tonight. I powered it on this morning. It came on. I walked away. I came back, and it was off, and the sucker would not turn back on. So now my backup went out today. So I went and got the original desktop here that's still not totally 100% working. All the software and all the shots and, you know, just everything in here. And but anyway, we're on. There, Jeff's back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
And Mike's back too.
Hey, Jeff.
Good evening.
I'm still got my cold and coughing, so I gotta mute it every now and then when I feel a cough come on, so I don't cough all over you guys.
All right, stop the feedback.
Now, Kurt's got a good solution for the kidney stones. Drink a 6-pack, roll around on the floor. Man, if everybody did that, we wouldn't need Doc.
Well, see, they tell us to drink cranberry juice. Doc probably heard this. Drink lots of cranberry juice. It'll flush your system. Now I just heard something recently that it doesn't make any difference with the cranberry juice.
Well, so sometimes if you can alkalinize your urine, you know, using this citric acid alkalinizes the urine, citrates, and that may help too.
Hey, Doc, what do you know about people drinking alkaline water?
Don't know anything about it.
Okay.
What kind of water?
Alkalinized water that's got the pH that's a little high.
Oh, well, you need to get one. You need to get that zero filter, man, where they stick that little thermometer thing in there and it reads zero. That's what you need, man.
Well, that's for like particles, right?
I don't know what to get that thing calibrated for, but they show it on TV. They stick that little meter in there and it says zero. So
that's for dissolved particles.
It must get rid of everything, man. You know.
Correct.
Well, at least they got it calibrated to look like it's got rid of everything. I kind of have my doubts.
I would doubt too.
In the words of P.T. Barnum, there's a sucker born every minute.
Hey, Doc, there's a question. Doc, were you on 3713 two nights ago?
Nope.
Oh, okay. VA1 DWG asked that question.
Nope, I hadn't been on 75 and gosh, I don't know, probably a year.
Well, you know, I've done very little operating. Of course, with all the trouble there the last couple of weeks, I hadn't had time to really do anything with the the BITX40 or anything. I really need to get in that box because I keep moving it around. I'm breaking the wires and having to redo it. And but before I put it in a box, I need to drill me some holes in the front plate. And, I don't know what holes I need yet. But, that's Joe was talking about that kit. It had that QSL card on the bottom of the kit. My first contact with that BITX40 on single sideband was South Africa. It was just,
Wow.
I don't know. It was just a freak deal. But I heard him on 40. I called him. I bet you the radio wasn't running a watt. I didn't even have the thing peaked or anything. I picked that little condenser mic up, and that little bitty switch on there looks like a little computer switch. And called him.
Like you had a pipeline.
Yeah, it was really clear, man.
I could see. I was looking at the solder joints on the top of that one board, and as you could see, looked like your wires were very frail.
Yeah, well, they're real small. I use some very small wires, and I've bent them so much they'll break off, and then I'll solder them back on, and you can see the insulation here starting to look a little burned. They're starting to look a little. They're starting to look. Yeah, they're starting to look a little sloppy, and I don't like people seeing that. But it's a prototype, and it's laying out loose, and
like you said, it's a prototype.
I mean, I can solder better than that. Actually, I went to micro miniature soldering school in the Air Force, and we learned to, and I got a certificate, NASA standards. I guess I could have soldered up a spaceship or something.
I had a friend, the guy that taught me a little bit about soldering, said that he had a NASA standard. Actually, he worked for NASA at one point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A little bit about soldering.
I mean, we would solder very small little things, and we'd do it under a microscope, inspect it under a microscope, and once you do it, then we'd clean it, and put it under the microscope, and hey, I never really, but that was like 1970. I mean, there wasn't nothing that small back then. I mean, even the moonshot, man, had big parts in it. But nowadays, boy, I tell you, I took a wireless phone apart the other day, the base unit. But we had one in storage that lightning had hit, and I wanted to see if I could get it going. I looked at it, and there's a little bitty chip in there that was actually a fuse. It had blown, so I saw where lightning came in on and it completely destroyed the 5-volt transformer that feeds it. So I was gonna think, well, maybe I can find some, at least some burned parts or something here. And those parts looked like gnats on that thing, man. I had to use my microscope to see some of them. The tip of my soldering iron was probably 3 times bigger than some of the parts.
Like a piece of pepper. Well, it's getting late for me. I didn't think I'd be able to hang out here tonight, but I was able to come in for a few minutes. So.
Well, we got in a little early, which is good. I'm going to get out of here, too, in a few minutes.
All right, we'll be looking for Santa Claus this weekend. So
yeah.
We'll see you next week.
That's true. That comes pretty quick.
Everybody can tell what you got for Christmas.
Yeah, we ought to have a show. We ought to have a show on here, and everybody come in on Skype and hold up your ham radio present.
No, I don't think I'm going to get any of those unless I buy them myself. But,
yeah, me too. Same here.
Got a new puppy coming in from Denver on Friday, so that's my wife's present.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Hey, Tom?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed it on your ICOM commercial, your ID51A Plus.
Yeah? Did I screw it up?
You screwed it up.
Oh, boy. What did I say?
You said IDA 51A Plus. This is ID 51A Plus.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the only one that's caught that, so I'm going to let it ride. It changes. It changes.
You saw that too, didn't you, Bill?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call Ray.
No. Hey, it changes every month, and I only got one more. We got one more show in. One more show in December. So 20th, 27th. Yeah, one more show, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to report you, I guess.
Well,
I got Ray on speed dial.
I'll just take the licking in because I ain't gonna change it.
All right, good night, guys.
All right, we'll see you, Jeff.
Yeah,
Good night.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I've got one of those ID51 A's. I don't have the plus, but
You don't have the IDA 51A?
I've got just the ID51.
Well, you already get you an IDA 51. You should get you an IDA 51A.
You got him thinking. You got him thinking, Tom.
Now you got me confused. No, I don't think I want one of those. But yeah, it's a nice little radio. It takes a long time to figure out how to work it, though. My gosh, it's not intuitive at all.
I tell you what, I took I had a brand new, I got several radios that were in the closet here. I hadn't even taken out of the box. And a couple weeks ago, I took the little Kenwood 2-meter handy talkie out and hooked it up. It's kind of neat. It programmed really easy. The buttons on the front weren't complicated, and so I, got me a little handy talkie back, and my others probably hadn't charged the battery in a couple of years.
I've got 3 HTs that I use regularly, and I've got a Kenwood THD72 that I take hiking with me all the time, and I've got one of those wash-on radios, and then I've got the ID51A.
The 72, the TH72, is that a 2-meter rig only?
No, it's dual bander, and it's it'll receive both channels simultaneously, so it runs full duplex, and it also has APRS on it too, so that's nice.
So
I keep one of them here in the car all the time.
So this is the little Kenwood right here. It's a small size and that kind of neat, and I'm kind of glad I got it out of the box finally. I used it the other day.
Was that another one you won?
Yeah, it's one I won. I don't know, a couple years ago.
Of course.
Maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, Kenwoods are pretty easy to use. That little TH72 is really easy to program, and the wash-on is a nightmare. I always have to get my cheat sheet out to look at it if I'm going to program it, but it's best to be programmed with a computer. But and same thing goes for the ID51A. I use the RT systems for that one.
So I went to the closet. Here's another one I won here a year ago. This is that's a dual bander. Yeah. That's the FT1XDR/DE or whatever. I said it's got fusion and all that on it. But you know what? It seems so complicated. I don't even know if I want to take it out of the box and try to read the instructions.
Well, why don't you send it up to me and I'll figure it out.
Well, I might have to do that.
I think I could use one. We got a Yaesu fusion repeater going here. So
yeah, we got one here, and we got a D-Star.
Nah, I don't want D-Star.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, you can always get the programming software for that rascal and just put in your frequencies and just
for on the fusion one, right? Yeah. I could do that. I could probably find somebody here that that would program it with all the. They probably already got the program set up here, with all the different local repeaters and stuff.
I don't know if you've ever used any of those RT systems programming software, but that's about as easy as it gets.
Yeah, Joel wants to know how much I want for the Yaesu. Let's see. I don't even know what it costs. I'll take $450. That'll be good. Let's see. I don't even know what they sell for. Yeah, we'll take
well,
about
if it's got that fusion and all that other stuff on it, that's pretty good price.
Take about 400. Now I've got a mobile fusion radio in there in a box that I won last year.
Don't you ever buy anything?
Well, no, not really. I try not to. Tickets. I don't even buy a ticket when I go. If I went to Dayton, you get one ticket or something when you buy your ticket or something. I don't even put it in a box. So the prize barrel. So I don't ever enter anything. If I enter, I won't win. But she's been pretty good about winning.
I won a couple of door prizes, but I've never won any big stuff. I guess I won the biggest thing I bought that I won was a optoelectronics frequency counter.
That's cool.
One time, it was pretty nice.
Well, I was surprised that I won the FT991 HF rig at Huntsville this last August. Well, Kathy won it. I didn't win it. And you asked if I was about ready. I was about ready. She had already talked to Ray Novak, and they were working up a deal to get me a 7300. And then he called my name. You just won the Yaesu 991. So I told Ray, I said, man, Ray, looks like I don't
have one of those 7300s, but probably if I upgrade, I'm going to probably go to the 7600.
Yeah.
But I haven't been on HF except in the mobile probably for 6 months. The bands have been so dead. I didn't even get on the DX contest here a month ago. Of course, I was hiking that weekend, and I really couldn't spend much time doing it. But the bands have been so bad, it's just terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I get on 2 meters here, for the Skywarn nets and stuff like that. But and I did work the national parks on the air mobile one day when I was going up to the lake house. But gosh, the bands have just been horrible.
Yep. Well, guys, I think I'm going to probably get out of here, go get me something to snack on, and maybe
I'd like to wish you and Kathy a very Merry Christmas there, Tom.
Well,
and pass along a couple of Merry Christmases to Walter and my buddy Max down there, okay?
Yeah, okay. Well, I hadn't talked to Walter. Just bought him a 7300 the other day. I need to get him to bring it down here. Let me look at it. But
yeah.
I had lunch. Well, you saw it. I had lunch with Max and Lou and John. They came in from Nashville. That's why.
Just wait till Dayton, and you'll win one.
Yeah, that's why I broke this radio out when John and Lou came down to talk to him. That's when I broke this out that morning and I put it on and I talked to him with it. Good night. Good night to Andy, KD5PUR. And Kurt, Merry Christmas to you, Kurt. Merry Christmas to everybody else, too. That's going to be here before the next show. I don't know what the next show is going to be. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I hope Santa Claus brings everybody what they want. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Man, there won't be a whole lot. We got a brand new stove, refrigerator, and a dishwasher that came last week in the kitchen. We're going to just put a ribbon on each one of those.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay.
That's the way it works.
All right, guys. Good night to everybody. I'll see you. See you next week, maybe.
Good night, Bill
Goodbye.
and Mike.
Tom.
All right. Well, for what few people are still out there, thanks for watching tonight. Enjoyed having you, and hopefully you'll come back next week. Help us reach that 5,000 number in our Facebook group, W5KUB Facebook group. Please join it. And that's going to be about it for tonight.
W5KUB provides excellent live streaming video from the Dayton Hamvention. All you have to do is log in to W5KUB.com, enter the chat room, and you're on. You can watch Hamvention live from the comfort of your home or wherever you might be. So remember, W5KUB.com and enjoy Hamvention. 2014, so 73 from Lou, N8KXM.
Hello, I'm Bharati Prasad, Victor Uniform 2, Radio Bravo, India. Please visit W5KUB.com. 73, Namaste from India.
Hi, I'm Warren, VA3UG from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and you're watching the live broadcast on W5KUB.com.
G'day from VK6RO in the city of Perth, about 12,000 miles southwest of New York City. I enjoy following Tom in his travels and live broadcasts on W5KUB.com. Thank you for your efforts, and we'll see you all again.
Hello.
This amateur